The other trope being the like, I could kill you, but then I'd be no better than you.
Yeah.
And then you turn your back, and then the guy tries to kill you, and then in self-defense you kill them.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, see.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about Peacemaker, Season 1, Episode 7. Stop dragging my heart around. We open with a flashback to Peacemaker's past, showing the pivotal moment when he killed his brother. We see them listening to Home Sweet Home, showing why Peacemaker's playing that in the future. And their father basically had them fight for cash. We end with a shot of the cow buried beneath the barn. It does look basically like a giant wingless Mothra. The bad guys are arranging to teleport it to another secret location. So our heroes are basically on a ticking clock. They gotta go kill the cow, thus starving out the butterflies. Paul,
yes.
First of all, there's no wrong time to rock.
Yes, there no.
But before we launch into specifics, what did you think of Episode 7?
Yeah, it was another good episode. I certainly enjoyed it. I keep forgetting I want to look through the episodes to see if there's anybody else who's writing them, or if I think James Gunn is prolific enough perhaps to have written most, if not all, of the episodes. Yeah, there's certainly a consistent tone and another great episode.
Actually, oddly enough, I actually worked for an attorney many years ago who basically had a version of Peacemaker's childhood, where he described as a teenager, his dad would basically do like hey, my son can beat up your son, and would arrange these fights in like warehouses, and then they'd bet on which kid. Anyway,
there would be a bunch of other people watching too. So
yep, and they'd place bets. And he didn't have to kill his brother, although he did, notably, this was much later in life, he had no eyebrows. Basically, they'd been punched off of him. So anyway, I don't know, maybe he was the Peacemaker. I never got that deep into this. Like last week also, we had several film references. They had that big, they were asking Goff, like, wait, are you like... Close Encounters? Are you like that? Yeah. Well, here we had a reference to Mars Attacks, very appropriate. We had a reference to Boondock Saints. And I loved the little conversation about Butch Cassidy and a Sundance Kid.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a reprise, though, right? I think I mentioned it before.
Yeah, Vigilante convinced they survived.
Yeah.
As he would. He'd be like, oh, yeah, right, they just dodged the bullets. And I'll say this, commenter Thomas... had a great analogy, an analogous film to Peacemaker, and that is They Live, which, if you think about They Live, it's, the hero of that film, professional wrestler Roddy Piper, much like our John Cena, and he's got, we put on the sunglasses, he can see the aliens that have taken over people's bodies, and then he goes and punches them repeatedly. So there you go.
There you go.
They live.
What's old is new again.
So yeah, we had two kind of big emotional deaths happen in this episode. One was Myrn dying heroically, trying to save his fellow, teammates, Harcourt and Leota. It's funny, actually, in the moment, because we have the the butterfly who's taken over Sophie, the cop, just to crush, he crushes the butterfly.
Yes.
And then they actually have the little moment where he touches his little hand to Harcourt, There was a little part of me, not much, because I was like, okay, he's gone. But there was a little part of me thinking, oh, is he going to fly into Harcourt at this point? But, that would have been that would have undercut the emotion of the moment. She does not save him by eating him, I guess. I found it interesting that we find out Myrn did know that Leota was Amanda Waller's daughter,
yes, that
and
was
just never told anybody.
Interesting expositional decision there, because he he spoke it out loud. Yes, I knew. Of course, I knew that, and he figured that it was Leota who had exposed Peacemaker. And,
Yep.
He was very much sort of boiling things down to their essence, and I would say in a way that was similar to where Harcourt too sort of boiled things down. I mean, you could have said that what they were basically doing is just getting rid of issues that people could, so the main characters could focus on what they need to do, which is get that done. And you can always go back for any plot points or emotional points that you think need to be addressed.
It was an interesting reveal. I was just like, oh, okay, wow, he knew.
Yeah,
All right.
he knew.
And it was, Leota apologizes. Kind of near the end of the episode, she apologizes to Peacemaker.
Yes.
I will say, pretty restrained response from Peacemaker. Like, considering what she's done to him, like, she has made this guy's life a living hell at this point. I mean, a jail term is almost certain, if not a, death sentence. He's still got that thing in the back of his neck, too. But anyway, like, she put a giant target on his back, and he is like, I thought we were a team. I was wrong. I just can't wait to be done with this mission so I can just be done with you. Like,
so he hasn't really forgiven
well
her. He's just, he's just saying, okay, let's just focus on what we have to do. So they probably still have some moments ahead where they can reconcile.
Sure. But I mean, it's just interesting how he was like, we're, just stay on task and then we'll go our separate ways. He wasn't like, and I'll punch you in the face or whatever. I don't know. It was like, oh, good on you, Peacemaker. The big portion of this episode is regarding White Dragon.
Right.
Peacemaker's dad tracking him down. He tracks him down because he's got the helmets, and there are trackers in the helmets that, of course, White Dragon designed. So he's like,
yeah. I wonder if they went back and got them now that that White Dragon's
dead. Grab him back.
And they pretty much killed anyone who was,
That's right.
with him.
Economos mowed down.
I was surprised that they had Chris shoot his father in the head, point blank.
Yeah.
It's a level of violence that I don't feel is typical for superhero shows. So, I mean, of course there are exceptions like, Punisher, but even then, too, I don't feel like there was this moment of like, I'm going to shoot someone who's important to me right in the head.
Well, I think part of it was, in the moment, White Dragon, his dad had critically injured Eagly.
Right.
Don't hurt Eagly.
Right. No. Yeah. I mean, certainly, I'm not saying he didn't have a motivation.
Right.
To do
He
it.
didn't have
It's
a
just
motive.
like it's a level.
The fact that they went
of
there.
Violence. Yeah, that's more personal than the way that Economos mowed down those racists. I mean.
Right. There was kind of nameless fate. They even had the hoods on and stuff, so you didn't even see them really. It's just like da 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 da.
Exactly. Yeah.
But here it was like, this is my dad.
Yeah,
you would think, in a different show it might be like, I'm taking you to jail.
They didn't create some situation where it was sort of like, oh, he's hanging by a thread, and he's trying to save him, but then he drops, the sort of way that they do it so that the villain can die without the hero being responsible for it. But no, he would still be alive if it weren't he shot him in the head.
Yeah, he definitely shot him. The other trope being the like, I could kill you, but then I'd be no better than you.
Yeah.
And then you turn your back, and then the guy tries to kill you, and then in self-defense you kill them. And you're like, oh, see.
Oh, yeah.
But here he was just shutting him up because he was like, no matter what happens, I'll always be in your head. Boom. All right, fine, you're dead.
Yeah.
You mentioned, do they go back and get the helmets? That's interesting because I was thinking, remember in episode 1, we had this Peacemaker says, "Oh, are we going to fight Mothra? And do I get a jetpack or something like that?"
Yeah, right. So you suggesting maybe we should have taken the costume off of Dead Dad?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not the whole costume, but jet boots
and the jet gloves, I guess.
I think he's going to have. I think he might have the White Dragon jet power to fly up to Mothra. Anyway, there we go. That's my little prediction.
Really? Yeah, I don't think I don't think they want a flying Peacemaker.
Okay. All right. Perhaps not. I'm just saying he they Chekhov's jetpacked him. So we'll see. Vigilante, again, more comedic parts there, but he saves Peacemaker at least twice.
Yeah.
Pretty big. He blows himself up to help save. And then he does the callback to earlier episodes when he noted the White Dragon costume had gaps. It's like, oh,
yes,
chink, and so he incapacitates White Dragon's outfit. So good on Vigilante. Another funny little moment when he's trying to drive away, but he's in and out of consciousness because he blew himself up. The song playing on the radio, "Don't Close Your Eyes."
Oh.
As he passes out and drives off the road. Taking Eagly to the vet. Another kind of a funny bit there as well.
And then, I thought that was an interesting moment when Leota, makes that turn when she sees Chris and Eagly hug. And then they showed you the, moment from the first episode when she doubted.
She was like, "Oh, you're just lying." But no!
So
his eagle actually hugs him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an unusual atheist that can appreciate a character using religious, motivation in order to make a change or whatever. And so this whole thing about, oh, yes, this is a miracle. If they believe it's a miracle, it's a miracle. And so, yes, this love between, I wish some ichthyologists or...
I think that's fish, but okay, yeah.
Oh, you're right, yeah, okay. Arachne, no, that's
ornithologists?
Spiders. There you go. Those people. I wish they'd weigh in and say whether or not, eagles are capable of that sort of affection.
Perhaps we will get an ornithologist commenter. Also, speaking of animals, we had the raccoon with the helmet tied to it to distract White Dragon's forces. Call back in some ways to James Gunn's other universe, Rocket Raccoon.
Sure.
And I did like the fact that they didn't show. They could have done the physical comedy bit with Peacemaker trying to attach this helmet and then the raccoon claw in his face. I thought it was actually much funnier that he just, for the rest of the episode, he's got a clawed up face. It's just like, the raccoon, I think, did more damage to him than his dad. But anyway, it's funny. It's like, oh, who knew raccoons? Like, I like that bit. I like that choice to not show it, but just to show it on his face. That was very funny.
Yeah, surprisingly, they didn't choose, say, a weasel. They could have done that, and that would have referenced something else in the PCU.
The best fight, actually, of the episode was probably not White Dragon and Peacemaker, although that was good. I think the Judo Master v. Harcourt scene. That fight scene in the apartment.
Yeah. They really
pretty cool.
Pulled out all the stops for that. And I liked the rope-a-dope there moment with Leota coming in to
she's just smiling through the blood, basically you've been rope-a-doped. Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to end up being like the Kato to them,
I do feel like he's going to fight for the good guys in the last episode.
Really? I wonder if he's going to be like...
Oh, Kato, I see what you mean. Kato, right, in the Pink Panther. When
yes, exactly.
Come home.
Yeah, he's always attacking them.
You're right. That could be a funny callback. I did find it interesting that he escapes custody, and then it seems like his first act is go to a convenience store, buy Cheetos.
Yeah.
And then, of course, these random guys, call him a leprechaun. He beats the living hell out of them and takes their
money. I liked how he looks into the convenience store, and I guess they were assholes enough where the convenience store guy could approve of the fact that he beat their asses.
Thanks for beating the hell out of them. So he's obviously got a part to play coming up, but I do feel I again, because I also think he's dancing with Peacemaker in that opening. I feel like he's going to be fighting for the good guys. That's all I'm saying. I think it's like common enemy. Oh, the Mothra thing must attack.
The White Dragon was dancing with him.
I mean, literally, Peacemaker picked him up and put him on his shoulder in the dance. That's what I'm saying.
Well, because he's small enough to do that.
That's true. Good point.
I
But I'm
mean,
just saying,
it's possible. It's just I don't know how much that of evidence.
you don't think it
that's all I'm
necessarily
saying.
works. I guess. I just feel like, yeah, common enemy. Judo Master is going to assist as they go, because now we have all the bad guys have convened at the barn, and they're basically just going to hold a defensive pattern until they get the teleporter set up, teleport the Mothra to parts unknown. So there's going to be a massive fight at this barn.
Sure.
I just wondered, did they have the numbers? Kind of like Boba Fett didn't have the numbers. How do you get the
Right.
Are they gonna have Tusken Raiders?
Have to come up with some sort of plan, I guess, that is able to incapacitate or stall until they can do it. I can't imagine that they get away.
They being
get the cow away is what
the
I'm
butterflies.
saying.
Yeah, I agree. Right.
I think they have to kill
one
the
episode.
butterfly. Although, and presumably that I feel like if they don't kill the cow and then have some period where the butterflies are dying off because of it, then that'll be really interesting. It's only an episode, I know, but I don't know. I don't feel like they're going to stretch it out for another season.
Maybe since they did spend time riffing on Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, maybe you get a Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid style ending to the season, where it's like, we did the mission, but now we're surrounded by angry butterflies, and cut to credits. But anyway. Then they just come back the next season, like, yeah, we did it. We jumped in bullets, just like Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say though, that it was not easy for me to accept when the butterfly possessed Sophie and Detective Fitzgibbons when they descended upon that apartment and just they were around the corner, so they weren't seen. It was a little
right.
And then they don't. It's like they possessed all these cops who would have known to have someone wait at that location. They certainly got enough to spare a couple of butterflies to hang out in case just turning the corner left Harcourt and Leota to come around.
I feel like it was done just because it looked cool to see them sitting there, and then right behind them the people are breaking in. But you're right, that was way too close, and the staircase is right there. You're like, really?
Yeah.
They were so focused on this one room that it didn't occur to them that maybe the others are nearby.
That was one like, what can they do? It's like, we really are underestimating them. It's like, even if they were a little bit more dangerous, you're still like, I don't know.
Maybe cops are just really, incompetent on Butterfly Land. They're like, no, we were just being like cops that we know. We do exactly what we're told and nothing else. Looking for an exciting and silly and absurd finale.
Yes.
And more 80s hard rock tunes. So we'll be back talking about the season finale of Peacemaker.
Yes.
Thanks as always, Paul. Appreciate it, sir.
You're welcome.
And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.